Here's one of the latest interviews from Rock and Metal Revival. If you want to hear the whole show, go to rmrshow.com. From her brand new CD time capsule, there's Lita Ford and Rotten to the Core on Rock and Metal Revival. And, dude, it's good to hear Lita back and rocking.
Oh, yeah,
and
sure.
She's a busy lady, got a new book out, Living Like a Runaway, and you didn't even wait for the movie on this one.
I know. I actually read the book.
You read the book?
I read the book. Holy, lots of words and paragraphs and sentences and shit in there.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah, it took a while, but I got through it.
You did, and she is with us this morning. Lita, we welcome Lita Ford to Rock and Metal Revival.
Hi guys. Good morning.
Yeah, Lita, like I said, Jerry usually waits for the movie, but he picked up your new book right away, and what a great book. I mean, this had to be hard for you to actually just sit down and go through all these memories and put them down on paper. It had to be quite a task for you.
It was very overwhelming at times. A lot of ups and downs, and a lot of heartache, a lot of happy memories that just so funny. I'd find myself crying because I was laughing so hard. Just a lot of ups and downs, and the book is true. It's real. There's no holding back on things, and I just wanted to tell it like it was. It was rock and roll, Sometimes people are getting a little upset at me, thinking, well, you had sex with this guy? Well, this guy's married. It's like, dude, I was a kid. I was 18 when I had sex with this person, and he was not married when he was 18. They think, they act like it happened yesterday. So it's just growing up in the music industry. You're around all these people.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how many people you hung out with, like Richie Blackmore, being able to go to his house and sit and jam with him and stuff. That's crazy. Yeah. Most guitarists, like I'm a big time guitar guy. We're in a room full of guitars, and I was just flabbergasted. I had no idea that you knew so many of these people like this, like Edward Van Halen and stuff, and being able to pick their brain a little bit. That's kind of pretty impressive right there.
I picked everybody's brain. It didn't have to be Edward Van Halen. It could have been my next door neighbor. If he played guitar, I would pick his brain.
Nice.
Lita, I mean, what makes you open up like this and sit down and do a book? I mean, a lot of people don't like to throw all their stories out to the public. I mean, what was the deciding factor for you?
Well, if I was going to deliver a book, I wanted it to be real, and I wanted it to be something people could really sink their teeth into, and not put the book down after the first page and say, you know what, this is going to be boring, I don't want to read it, sucks, throw it aside. I didn't want to have that. I wanted to be able to capture the reader from the very beginning of the book. And in the beginning of the book, things are light and happy, and there's, it talks a lot about my parents and my upbringing, and whereas a lot of people think that I had a terrible upbringing. You're in a rock band, you must have had a terrible upbringing.
Yeah.
No, actually, I had the most wonderful parents anybody could ever want. It was just a complete opposite. So a lot of things were things I'd like to clarify, because there's so many stories going on around. Lita did this and Lita did that, and it's like, wait a minute. I have reasons, and I have my own side of the story I'd like to share. And also it's a female in a man's world. It's a story in itself. It's almost like a rock and roll manual.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Lita, with the new surge of women in hard rock and metal, do you feel like the Runaways were one of the main people who paved the way for bands like Halestorm, who you're going out on tour with a little later on this year?
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely. A lot of the girls that are out now, Orianthe and. I think Nita Strauss and, of course, Lizzie Hale, and she tells it like it is, where did I get my ideas? And you got to love that. She's a doll. Yeah. I love her to death, and we're real excited to be going out with Halestorm. But, yeah, they've got to have a leader. There's got to be a leader. there's leaders and followers, and my leaders were men. I had to turn to people like Ritchie Blackmore and Tony Iommi and, all these wonderful guitar players. They were my leaders. They were my heroes. So now there's a woman out there that, more than one woman that you can turn to and say, I learned this from Lita Ford, and I wear this because Lita wore it, or I learned this riff because this is how Lita plays it. It's just really cool, really awesome to see. I can go to my grave and be happy with that.
Nice. So what is it about the Explorer guitar shape that really drew you in back in the Runaway days?
Well, I honestly don't remember about the shape so much as the sound of the guitar.
Yeah.
And it was different. It wasn't, it was just different. And I like things that are unlike anybody else's. Les Pauls are very common guitars. Yeah. A lot of people play them. I have one. I love it. I don't play it live. I save it for recording or going into the studio. I have a whole different load of guitars that people don't see because they're especially for recording. But I wanted to be different, and I wanted to just say, look at this. What is that guitar? Because back in the 70s, well, this was late 70s now, early 80s, the Explorer really wasn't that common of a shape. There wasn't a whole load of them out there. So I wanted to be different. I wanted people to say, wow, what is that? Sounds amazing. Yeah. How's she doing that? What is it? Attracted attention and attracted their ear and their eyes.
Lita, I remember back in around 1999, there was talk of maybe a Runaways reunion. Has that topic been revisited since that time?
Honestly, everybody asks me that, and I wish, I hope and pray that one day we can. It'd be awesome, but I don't think so. I just don't see it. I don't see it happening, unfortunately.
Okay, well, I want to talk about your new CD because we just got our copy yesterday and been listening to it, and it's great to have new music for you. But one of the things I was really noticed on it is all the great people that were involved, all the heavy hitters in music. You had guys from Kiss, you had some of the guys from Cheap Trick, Billy Sheehan. How did this all come together?
Yeah, well, I knew a lot of the guys at the time. I still do. But at the time, we were recording in a studio in California, and in the next room was another recording studio. So that studio was always full of musicians. And then sometimes we would just hang out, like the guys from Cheap Trick or the Runaways and Cheap Trick grew up together.
Yeah.
They're old friends. We were just hanging out at the time, writing, trying to come up with some new material, and we went into the studio, and they ended up singing on Rick and Robin ended up singing on The Killing Kind, and it was amazing. It was just a really amazing time in my life. People like Dave Navarro coming in and just jamming a little bit on mandolin.
Yeah,
nice.
That's crazy.
Like, what do you want me to play? Here, play this. Just, cool stuff and great songs, great people. Just a lot to offer off that album. And its release date is April 15th. It won't be out until April 15th, so unfortunately.
I'm looking forward.
Gotta wait a little while.
Looking forward to seeing that in stores. And another album that's released on April 15th that you're on is the new Ace Frehley album. How did you get involved with that?
Yeah. Ace is doing, it's a cover record. So he's picked his favorite songs, and he's got his favorite musicians. I know Slash is on something, and John 5 is on something. And he invited me to sing Wild Thing.
Nice.
And we did our own version of it. It's not identical to the Trogs or anything like that, and it just takes off. I play some guitar on it, which was a real honor to be able to play guitar on Ace's record.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know, we're buddies, and it came together really well. It was a lot of fun.
Now, do you regret telling Robert Plant no when he asked you to play bass in Led Zeppelin?
Well, now see, there's a misconception there, and the press just takes it out of context to what really happened. And if you read the book says all he really did was ask me if I played bass. He says, "You don't play bass, do you?" It's not like he came up and said, "We want you to play bass for Led Zeppelin." That's not what happened. Okay. He'd watched the Runaways play. Him and Jimmy Page came to a show, and Robert Plant said, "You don't play bass, do you?" And I said, "For who?" And because John Paul Jones was one of my favorite bass players ever.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what he was talking about. And I thought, for who? It wasn't in my vision there.
Hey, now, Lita, you were very close with one of our favorite artists, Lemmy Kilmister. What was it, one of your best memories with you and Lemmy?
Oh, boy. Lemmy and I were just stupid, funny, happy-go-lucky friends. And when we were together, we would just mess around and play guitars. We wrote "Can't Catch Me," which is off the Lita album, and we were going to play that, of course, on tour with Lizzie, the guys, because he just passed away. So it's still fresh in everyone's mind. So we've added that to the set, and dedicated to all Motorhead fans, and loving memory of Lemmy. We just, we used to get drunk together, hang out, play guitars, basically.
Cool.
Nice.
Well, Lita, I got to tell you this, and we set up our studio here. We've been doing Rock and Metal Revival for 10 years, and one of the first pieces of work, artwork that Jerry hung on the wall here, is a poster of you facing a wall, holding a guitar.
Your butt.
Yeah, and it's been up here for what, how many years?
I don't know, about 5.
Yeah, and I saw it the other day in a music store, and I'm like, you know what? That poster is iconic.
Yeah. Well, you're holding the Ovation guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, I know it. I know it well. It's hanging in a lot of places.
And the other thing, Lita, I wanted to tell you, I remember seeing you with Poison back in Madison back in the day, and I always thought it was the coolest thing how you just came out and just shredded on the guitar. Do you feel that you weren't taken as seriously as a guitarist over the years? Because honestly, Lita, I think you rule. I really do. I think you kill it on the guitar.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's a fight sometimes because people don't want to take it serious. A female plays guitar, and it's like, yeah, she strums a few chords. No, she plays guitar. She actually knows what she's doing. I've been doing this since I was 10. I'm 57 years old. Come on, you think I'd have it down by now? So I've played with the best of them.
And yeah, you have.
Sure.
And Lita, you've got, like I said, you've got a great book out. Both Jerry and I have read it. We've recommended it to everyone. We love the new album you got coming out on the 15th. You're still out on the road. And if people want to know more about Lita-Ford or keep up to date with what you're doing, where's the best place? Lita-Ford-Online.com official. Okay.
Sweet.
That's the best place, and you're going to be out on tour with Halestorm, and you're going to be all over. So we look
It's
forward.
Be a Bratfest
in Madison.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're looking forward.
Yep. We're out there, and we're doing a lot of shows.
A
So
lot of shows.
if people are complaining, saying, "Why isn't she coming to our neck of the woods?" I bet you we will be by the end of the year. We will be in your neck of the woods.
All right.
Nice.
Well, Lita, it has been an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show, and we're going to get out of here with a song that's pretty much autobiographical for you. This is Living Like a Runaway. You want to tell us a little bit about this tune?
Well, Living Like a Runaway was the title track. First of all, it was a title track off the album that I released in 2012, and there was a story behind Living Like a Runaway, and it does not have. It's not about the runaways. So you got to read the book to find out why it's called Living Like a Runaway, and the book is also called Living Like a Runaway.
So it works out perfect.
Works out perfect.
Title track of the book and the album.
All right. Well,
There
Lita, you are always welcome back here on Rock and Metal Revival.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's just a little taste of Rock and Metal Revival. If you want to hear the whole show, music and all, you can catch it on Mega Rock Radio Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Central, on Uncontrolled Noise at 6 p.m. Central on Saturday nights, and on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time on Rock Rage Radio. Otherwise, if you want more times or listings, you can check out our Facebook or our website at rmrshow.com.